Hey everybody, one of the reasons we know that the Gospel of Matthew was originally composed in Greek and not first composed in Hebrew and then translated into Greek is because one of the most significant and pivotal passages in the entire Gospel only works because it is quoting the Greek mistranslation of a Hebrew passage. So in Matthew 1, we have the discussion of the virgin birth, and verse 22 says all this happened so that what the Lord spoke through the prophet would be fulfilled. And then verse 23 quotes the Greek translation of Isaiah 7:14. And it's important that it is the Greek translation because that translation differs from the Hebrew in two important ways. One way is that the Hebrew describes a woman who is already pregnant at the time of writing. Ha'alma hara. The young woman is pregnant. This has already happened. In the Greek, this sign is useless if it is discussing a pregnancy that occurred 500 years ago. And so the Greek puts it in the future. She will become pregnant. The other big difference is that alma, the word for young woman, is translated parthenos, which means more explicitly virgin. Now, in the Greek translation, this is not necessarily something miraculous. A virgin will become pregnant. That's how it frequently happens. So this is not necessarily about parthenogenesis. However, Matthew is trying to attribute miraculous events to Jesus' conception and birth. The first gospel, Mark, doesn't address Jesus' birth at all. We're now expanding the tradition and we're moving backwards and we're talking about Jesus' conception and birth, and in order to make it more miraculous, Matthew is picking up this tradition, and specifically the Greek translation of this tradition, in order to attribute parthenogenetic conception to Jesus, and thus we have the virgin birth, which only makes sense if the author is quoting from the Greek translation of Isaiah 7:14.